Hi everyone, welcome to my latest channel. It's called Fighting the Monsters, which is also my new Facebook page, and also it's going to be a new section on my website. This is solely geared towards getting international justice for at the ICC, bringing the statute of limitations to attention, and bringing perpetrators of severe crimes against children to justice. Now, over the last 5 years, I have been involved in a lot of work behind the scenes, from translating, editing, writing, researching, contacting victims, speaking with lawyers, speaking with politicians, writing petitions, and. Here's the thing. A lot of this costs actual money in the real world, like even just to get into the car and drive somewhere, or to interview someone, or to make a phone call to another country like the USA or England or Germany, or call other lawyers or call politicians, writing emails, and all of that takes a lot of effort, a lot of time. And in this video, I want to explain to you a little bit about why I'm starting this project and why I desperately need funds. So without further ado, I'm going to read something that I wrote, and thank you so much for watching and for listening. Project Fighting the Monsters. Dear viewer, first off, thank you for your interest in this very important movement. In the following minutes, I will share with you everything that goes on behind the scenes. The cost and labor of this work is immense, and I cannot continue to finance this and do all the work by myself. From website upkeep to translation work of all content, subtitling interviews into different languages, interviewing victims, ex-cult members, lawyers, politicians, etc., this can quickly add up to hundreds, if not thousands of dollars per month. And just alone, the computer and office space, sound and video studio are not self-explanatory. I am currently saving up to be able to upgrade my video cameras to 4K so as to present everything in a more professional way. And also I would really like to finally start doing my documentary called Fighting the Monsters, in which I would really like to travel all around Switzerland, show you guys where all of these communes used to be, ask the people that rented out these communes how the hell they were so naive as to just rent out these buildings to these cult members. And I want to know if the owners of these buildings knew that the people renting from them were cult members, if they knew that there were children being sexually abused and beaten and treated as slaves and basically robbed of speech, robbed of a living, and basically being incarcerated and kept against their will, which I'll get to later, which is actually a crime against humanity. That is enslavement, and that is denial of basic human rights, such as freedom of speech, freedom of movement, and right to education. So also, I want to talk to politicians in Switzerland, politicians in Germany. I want to talk to international lawyers. I want to talk to lawyers that are specialized in civil rights, in international crime, in local crime. So there's a lot to unpack here. There's also quite a few organizations, like there's one down in Spain. I would love to travel to Spain to talk to this organization that also is fighting the statute of limitations in Spain for all the horrible stuff that went on with the Catholic Church. There are thousands and probably hundreds of thousands of other men like me here in Europe and worldwide that suffered greatly at the hands of so-called religious people, priests, bishops, fanatics, what have you, that used the name of God inappropriately to commit horrible, horrible crimes against humanity. And the only way that we can finally bring this to the public's attention is, at the end of the day, we need money. Even something as simple as a Google ad or a Facebook ad costs hundreds of dollars if you want to reach a large audience. You need a social media promoter, you need an assistant. There's so much here. Let me give you an example. Just alone this video, I would need to properly subtitle it into German and other languages. Otherwise, I would have to film the video twice, once in German after I did the English version. Okay, so this option would easily take just a few hours of unpaid work just to write the script in English and then translate it into German. And then, of course, edit everything, make sure the grammar is correct, and then filming both versions, cutting, doing audio adjustments and whatnot, and then of course uploading. So I've already tried this a few times on my other channel to do like two different playlists, one in German and one in English. But the sheer amount of time involved is just absolutely incredible and completely unrealistic. It's absolutely bonkers. And you have to also realize that every hour I spend here doing voluntary work, unpaid work, is time that I'm not using to actually go out and make money for my family, to work towards paying my bills, to even something as simple as servicing my car. I've not been able to afford for the last half year because of simply not having the amount of time to be able to juggle everything. So for example, there would be an alternative like using an AI program to translate and subtitle the videos. This option would be great, but it's very expensive. Anything that's halfway serious, and I've spent over a day just researching this, and anything that's like cheap does really bad translations into German. It doesn't get like, you know, the language differences, the sentence structure differences. So even if it does kind of translate English into German or German into English, I still have to go through every single sentence manually and translate that by hand. And then on top of it, these programs, usually they don't give you like a large amount of data to try out the programs. So it's kind of like, you know, just trial and error. Like I think I bought one service for like $300. I tried it for a few days and it was so bad I asked for my money back, so I could use my $300 to pay for another service. And I tried that with a few things, and then I just ended up abandoning the project altogether because it was so time consuming. I literally did nothing else. And this is all the stuff that no one sees as what's going on behind the scenes. It's the amount of research, the amount of learning programs, like even just learning how to use Final Cut, how to use Logic Pro, how to use OBS, you know, translating programs, and this is only scratching the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the work involved, right? So here's the thing. I can't at the moment afford to really continue doing any of this work because I don't sell enough t-shirts, I don't sell enough books, I don't sell enough singles. That, you know, like I was really hoping, like with the t-shirt sales, like this hoodie I have on here, I made myself, for example, you know, you can buy it in my shop for like $30. I'm selling t-shirts for like $20-25. It's not a lot of money. You can buy one of my books for like, you know, I think like an ebook is like $10. A printed version is like between $10 and $20. You can buy a single online for me for like $4. It's not a lot of money, but like if 1,000 people out there bought one thing from me a month, I could actually afford to do this work. And I'm not asking for free money. I'm not begging and, oh, I want to tell a sob story and I want free money. No, I want to work for my money, but I also want to be able to make enough money so I can actually do all of this, you know? And I think that's the saddest thing, that like, you know, people will not bat an eyelid or be like, oh yeah, I'll support Greenpeace, or I'll support, you know, saving the whales, or I'll support, you know, the rainforest and all of that. And I mean, that's all fine and good, but if we can't even take of our own human race, then what's the point in saving the world if there are people out there getting away with heinous crimes like raping and abusing children and committing horrible crimes against humanity? Shouldn't that be our priority? I mean, come on, you know? So basically, over the last 5 years, my wife has been working full time. I've been working here and there part time. Also, I never finished school. I don't have an apprenticeship. I don't have any diplomas or anything. So it's already hard enough for me to find work. And the few jobs that I managed to do here and there, I always had to juggle between like, okay, we need so and so much money to cover all the expenses for this month, but also I need to work this and this many hours. I usually work up to 10, 12 hours a day, unpaid usually. Yesterday I was lucky, somebody hired me to cut a video for them, so for their own advertising. And since I work with videos every day anyway, for me that was a godsend, small amount of money that I could put as a drop on a hot stone. Actually, as soon as that money came in, I immediately just paid some outstanding bills for car repair. So I'm still kind of broke, but you know, it's what it is. And I mean, don't be fooled by the stuff all behind you. I mean, like, I do have guitars and stuff like that back there. First of all, none of those are really worth anything. I think I have like two or three guitars worth a couple $1,000s that I've saved up over the years. And but that's not what I paid for them. And those guitars are kind of also like a small, tiny source of income. But here's the thing: like the guitar market is completely in the basement since COVID. So a lot of these guitars, if I would sell them right now, I would actually make a loss. And altogether, everything you see back there, if that amounts to even $8,000, $9,000, that's already a lot. And I would also first have to sell them. And here in this country, I kid you not, just to make ends meet. That's without having one Swiss franc left over at the end of the month, with three children, two of them which are in apprenticeship, one who is finishing school now. When we pay, after we pay for rent, health insurance, and everything for a five-headed family, we need about $5,500 a month just to hit zero every month, and that's just cost of travel, gas, health insurance, rent, the cost of transport for my children, and all the other. It's mind blowing. Then you need the internet, you need phone, you need all of that, and that's absolutely fucking ridiculous. I mean, just alone, yeah. My wife, she works full time. I need a second car. I need one car. I haven't even fixed my car in over 6 months, and it badly needs service. So this is just the reality that I'm trying to drive home to all of you viewers out there. That for all of you, it's maybe just $5 or $20 or $30 or $5 or even $1, right? And you could look away. You could be like, oh yeah, this guy is boring and yakety yak, blah blah blah. But here's the thing: if everyone thinks that it's somebody else's responsibility and somebody else is going to step up and support, no one will, because that's the law of the masses. If everyone thinks, oh, the other person will help, no one helps. And I've seen this for real when I was about 17 years old. There's a guy, he dropped dead in front of me on the streets in the center of Bern. Well, he didn't die immediately. He was having a heart attack. And I saw him like first go to his knees with his shopping, and then he bent over, then he was like clutching his chest. And then he knelt down on the ground, and then he was like, breathing heavily and, swaying back and forth. And then he just kind of keeled over. In all that time that this was going on, for many, many, many minutes, I was the only person that actually stopped and watched and actually did something. I actually went over, and was like, hey, are you all right? And whatever. And I mean, like, he was completely out of it. And then he fell over. And at the time, there wasn't like, cell phones or mobile phones or anything. So in order to call the emergency or call an ambulance, you'd actually have to go to a payphone, right? And I mean, okay, back then the people had mobile phones, but it was in the beginning. So a lot of people didn't, and I for sure didn't, because I was a homeless street musician, right? So this guy, he's keeling over, and I don't want to like leave him to go to a phone cell. So I'm like shouting, "Hey, can somebody stop? Can somebody help?" and whatever. People just walking, and it took a lot of time. I don't know how many minutes passed by, because in the spur of the moment you don't really like look at your watch or whatever. But it took a lot of time before somebody was like, oh my God, there's something happening here. And then some other woman came, and then I was like, can you watch this dude? And then I went over to a payphone, and I called the emergency number 144, I think it is, in Switzerland. Anyway, and the moral of the story is exactly this: that no one screams unless it's their own leg cut off, and until if somebody else is standing right there with their legs sawn off, everyone else will just keep walking by because it's not them. And this is sadly the mentality that we have at the moment, that anyone will be like, oh my God, the latest trip hop artist, or the latest hip hop, or the latest this and that. Or when Mr. Beast comes to a local venue or whatever, there's like thousands of people like lighting up and be like, oh, Mr. Beast, or whatever, right? Why the fuck can't we do that for something that's actually worth something? Fuck Mr. Beast. What has Mr. Beast ever done for humanity, right? I'm actually out here trying to do something for humanity, and I can't even make ends meet. That's the bottom line. That's what I'm trying to drive home to you guys. My goal is simple. No child abuser should ever again be able to hide in the shadows and simply wait it out until their crimes have expired. There should never exist such a heinous thing as an expiration date for crime against humanity. let me put it out there to you guys like this. If you were in my shoes and you lost your entire childhood, you were beaten, you were raped, you were brought up as a slave to God, you had no liberty to say anything, and you were scared to death of anything that you said that say could be held against you. You could be publicly beaten. You watched as many of your friends, girls at the young age of 6, 7, 8 years old, were made all nice and pretty to go have sex with adult men. Do you think that you could just like keep that to yourself? Or I don't know, I mean, like, or if that happened to somebody you cared about or your own children, I mean, wouldn't that just make you so outraged? Especially then if you knew that the people who did this to you or to your child or to the people you love just could go on living like nothing happened, and then your whole life is destroyed because of it. So if your answer is anything but no, I don't give a shit, then please like, subscribe, share this video with all your friends, your family, and if you can afford it, please by all means go to one of my fundraisers on my website, donate something, buy a CD, buy a single, buy my book on Amazon. It's a great read. It's very entertaining. I promise you that. And it's actually even free to read on Kindle if you have a Kindle. So there are so many ways you can help this very important project, and I'm not just doing this for me, I'm doing this for humanity. I really believe strongly that this is something that I cannot let go, and I will continue to fight for my rights and the right of every other person out there who has been a victim of horrific child abuse until the day I die. Thank you so much for watching, and stay strong. See you next time.